everyone, and welcome to episode 5. Thank you so much for joining us today. As a reminder, we are playing in the Daggerheart system using the In Time of Brimstone campaign frame, published by Underground Oracle Publishing, which is a fantastic team of 3 people.
Is it you, yourself, and you?
No, it's me, Jess and Keith. Jess and Keith are the owners of Underground Oracle Publishing, and I keep I herd the cats and get us published on time. That's my job. And one of those cats is me. I'm also one of the cats.
Hey, herding yourself is like a real, art.
Executive dysfunction is my cat. But yes, with that, we are going to jump right into the story. So where we ended, Cass, you got pulled into that vision of darkness and heat and humidity and that deep, gravelly growl, roar voice as if behind you into your ear saying, "Learn," as you crossed the threshold of the tent and saw Aluda there, just like making dinner, just like going about her day.
I feel like it's when Cass enters, when I enter, it's more like an icy kind of wind comes across. Just, the vibes shift immediately. Just, hello?
Oh, hello. Would you like to join me for dinner?
I'd like to sit here. I'm okay with not joining you for dinner.
Alright. Would you like some tea?
No, I don't want any more fucking tea, thank you.
Alright. I smell blood. Are you injured?
A little bit. It's fine. Some of it isn't mine.
Oh. And you see, she immediately stops making whatever dinner or tea she was and goes over and, grabs, packets of herbs and, bandages and, a clear bottle that has clear liquid in it, which might be some sort of alcohol or antiseptic, something like that, and comes over and she goes, "Please, sit, let's take care of it."
I'm okay, I don't need help. I've been told I have to sit here, so I'm sitting here.
Okay. And she just starts laying out the stuff and, crunching up herbs and mixing it with some of the liquid, and she's like, why were you told to sit here?
Because I told Goose that the dragon in my head keeps telling me things because it's clearly a fucking dragon.
Oh, okay. And is Goose with you? And she kind of looks around you and towards the door.
I kind of jerk a thumb backwards. Goose is outside.
Well, hello, Goose. Would you like any tea or anything to eat?
I think Goose is going to try and ignore the offer. Because again, bad vibes.
Goose.
Something's happening. Yeah.
Manners, please.
Then no, thank you.
Alright, I see that your sister is injured. Do you need help as well?
No, thank you.
Alright. And, Aluda looks like she's prepared the things, and she looks at you and she's like, "Is it alright if I take care of what wounds you do have?"
You're gonna be weird about it?
How was I weird about it before?
It's the me jumping into the liminal space and think that was weird. That was really weird.
I mean, we were figuring out your visions at that point.
Yeah, nope, still weird. Whatever's going on with you and Marlo, also weird.
And you see her, not really saying anything, but,
Finally, yeah, we'll, remove some of the coverings that are a bit charred, just so it's like can be treated.
Yeah, so as she treats you, you're immediately gonna regain an HP. And she takes time to continue to treat you, waiting for whatever you guys are supposed to be waiting for.
It is a deeply uncomfortable silence because Cass is just furious. Like,
Did something happen? I mean, you seem injured. Is everything okay?
We went to find Krill. We didn't find Krill. We found 3 dragonlings. While Marla was doing whatever the fuck they do when they're left on their own, to which I could never really understand. They were probably doing poetry over dead bodies again. Like, that's again other weird shit that you guys do up here that I'm meant to deal with. Decided to get caught by a dragonling and get suspended, a good 30 probably more feet in the air. It was bad. Goose tried to talk to them. Also bad. The thing in my head.
Try. I succeeded.
And did they listen to you?
I didn't say that they listened to me. I just said that I didn't try to talk to them, that I successfully talked to them. They understood me. Because they replied.
And what did we learn?
We learned that they are impressed by the fact that I can talk.
What else did we learn, Goose?
That you are really mean with a sword.
I said I was sorry.
Are you injured as well, Goose? Would you like some help?
No, thank you.
Goose is injured. Because I accidentally hit Goose with a sword, and I'm very sorry about that, but if Goose would like to get some help, there's nothing wrong with accepting help from people.
I know there's nothing wrong with it. I just don't want help from whatever weird thing's happening here.
What's the first rule of the upstairs, Goose?
Always listen to your teacher.
And who's your teacher right now?
Marlo.
To be fair, I said wait in the tent.
The tent's uncomfortable. We're not going in there.
You see, Cass takes it up. It's like, that wasn't the first rule. The first rule is we take what we can get. So Marlo's your teacher now.
Well, Marlo is. I'm Marlo's apprentice, so yeah, that makes him my teacher. They're my teacher.
I don't know. It seemed like you want to be a scout now.
Well, I thought we were learning some pretty cool skills. I'm pretty good at running super quiet now. Goose has like half their neck inside the tent at this point. Not fully coming in, but definitely like shoulders, head up, just like peeking.
The slow head turn of Cass to Goose is the older sibling, that we're going to have problems soon, Goose. Like that kind of look then.
Anyways, this is what happened, and then they slide the entirety of their little notebook in, and it's just the full stick figure comic illustration of Dylan coming to get them all feeling like they're heroically running to figure out what's going on, going to go find Krill, Marlo getting swooped.
I think you see a change across Luna's face, but you're not quite sure what that change is when she sees those pictures.
Can I try and guess?
You can give me instinct if you want.
Can I use naturally discerning again for this? Or just
Yeah,
buy?
if you want to spend ad, spend ad.
Oh, God. No, actually, I'm just gonna go instinct on this one. I'm just gonna go instinct. That's funnier. I got nothing. That's a 7.
No, you are in your feels right now. You're upsetty spaghetti. You're not paying attention. You're fuming a little bit at Goose Goose.
I think blanket everyone right now, but just looks at us. Yeah, that pretty much covers what happened.
Oh, but Marlo was okay, right?
Marlo's fine. Marlo's just yapping.
And you see her kind of like nodding as she's collecting the things that she used with you to treat you, and begins taking that back to that side of the tent that she grabbed them from. And there's like a beat of a moment after she puts things away, and then you hear her working in that little area that's kind of like her makeshift kitchen, and then she goes, "Well, I know you both don't want anything, but if anyone were to want anything," and she like walks past, or towards you, Cass, and like sets a plate of what looks like round, like honey coated, like sponge cakes with some like crushed nuts on it. Sets a small plate of a couple by you and a small plate with a couple by the door. If anyone should want it or more unexpected guests come, they are here. For whoever might want them. And it's like her awkward attempt to be like, how do I help these young kids? I can't talk to these kids as adults, and so here, have food.
Cass is doing the most icy glare imaginable. 22-year-old Cass knows this player, has played this game with Goose, and is just giving the iciest glare known to man. Like, Goose, eat the honey cakes.
Goose has already eaten all of the honey cakes on the plate.
Cass
Rule number 1.
Cass slides halfway over to Goose as well.
No, you gotta follow rule number 1 too.
Why do I have to eat one?
Because you take what you can get, and you're being given these. You're supposed to lead by example.
Cool. Okay, so if I eat a honey cake, will you then receive some help?
Well, I already ate my honey cakes. That was
No.
me receiving what I was given.
Goose, go and get healed. It needs a honey cake.
So, Goose Goose, are you gonna listen to Cass?
Walk me through what's happening here.
Well, they're not fucking now, are they, Goose? I think that's the key.
I'm not talking to you, Cass. You're not the one doing the healing. I need to know what's happening.
Oh, I mean, where are you injured?
She got me right here.
Are you actually moving so that she can see where you got? Or are you just pointing off the camera?
Standing in the like threshold, because still refusing to fully enter the tent, and just like points.
I think she comes over to look at it, but respects, like stays like a little bit away, and just like looks at it, and she goes, well, I would clean it because it looks like it has dirt in it. Disinfect it and wrap it.
How do you draw disinfectant?
And you see her go back to where she kept the things and like gets the armful of it, comes back over and shows you that clear bottle with that clear liquid in it, and this is the disinfectant if you want to draw it.
Because Goose is taking notes on how you properly clean a wound. Well,
This is
gonna
why I
happen.
made you my apprentice, clearly.
Is it okay if I
Watching you.
Okay. And it does sting a little bit. She pours the disinfectant to clear out the dirt. She makes like a poultice, like almost like a little wet like herb mixture that she packs along the injury and then wraps your leg. And as she finishes, the pain that you had been having, that throbbing pain from the slice along your leg, slowly starts easing away, and you immediately gain back an HP. And I think the whole time she's been talking you through it because she's realized like you're taking notes in your own way. So she's like, and this is what you do, and then this.
Excellent. Thank you.
You're welcome. Would you like more of the honey cakes?
Yes.
Alright. And she takes the things back and puts them away and goes about like preparing some more of the honey cakes. And I think this time she'll set them down like halfway between the doorway and Cass to like see if you'll come in a little further.
So, what's happening?
I mean, you both just came back from a dragon attack?
Well, why did Marlo send us to you? Because you guys had so many weird things that happened when we were here last time, and it just doesn't make sense why Marlo cares that we're coming here. Because you haven't been here, so I don't really know who you are, but they seem to really like you.
Marlo and I have known each other a long time. When the dragons first appeared, I was a part of Kaelstrom. And then when Kaelstrom got too large, I split off and formed the First Snow to keep Kaelstrom safe. And I've been the leader of First Snow since.
Why did you leave?
Yeah, why did they have to break up?
Because if a cluster gets too large, they become more prone to dragon attacks. It's easier for them to just get obliterated. It's harder to source the resources for everyone to not just sustain, but live in a way that feels acceptable. It was to make sure that Kaelstrom and those who needed to stay with Kaelstrom itself could continue in safety.
So how do you decide who would stay and who would go?
It was voluntary. We only needed like 15, 20 people in total.
And so if you and Marlo like each other, why didn't you go together?
Because Marlo was needed here in Kaelstrom, and my talents were needed for the First Snow. Sometimes you have a decision that you have to make, whether to put yourself above everything or to put the survival of others above what you want.
It's at this point that Cass says privately to the thing that said learn, yeah, that. But puts it in her head.
And so why are you guys here now?
Because Kaelstrom was in trouble. Someone sent a messenger to let us know what happened, so we came back to provide what support we could, because, you know, many of those that made up First Snow in the beginning, you know, were friends, family members of those that remained in Kaelstrom.
Okay.
Would you like tea to go with your honeyed cakes?
No.
How long are you staying?
Until the cluster is set. Hopefully not within the cave system. We'll probably set you up someplace in a new location. And once you all are stable, continue on with our caravan so that we don't take the resources that you all need.
Right. Can you find Krill? Because I tried and it didn't work out so well for me.
The little plant thingies in the water?
Goose gives it the same description that they gave Mr. Tree.
And this Krill is...
apprentice of Marlowe's.
One of my friends.
One of Goose's friends.
Okay. And I think she like goes away again and comes back kind of with a notebook, but it's a little bit thinner and a little bit larger than you're used to seeing a book. And as she opens it, Goose, you actually see it's all like sketches of people and places and things, like almost like charcoal or pencil sketches of things, and they're very detailed. And she kind of like sits down and opens it to a blank page, and like rolls out a little like leather thing that you see has like a bunch of like kind of broken or partial drawing pencils and like bits of like homemade charcoal and things. And she's like, could you, I know you gave me Krill's description, but could you tell me about them and less about what they look like?
Goose will begin a whole spiel about Krill's storytelling style. And probably throwing in their own few critiques here and there about it. And they could probably use a few more sound effects here and there. It really helps make it an immersive environment. I believe it's called taking risks and using onomatopoeia.
Automatopoeia?
Onomatopoeia.
And you just like smile and nod their head. As you're describing Krill, you see them do the lightest, quickest, like pencil sketch of just like a face. There's no like hard lines or anything. It's really hard to even see that there's any kind of like pencil markings on the page. And then she kind of like sits down, or sits the pencil down on the paper without leaving a mark, and keeps her hand on the page and on the pencil, and you see that flash that you've seen before happen across her eyes, and we're gonna wait to see what she finds or sees. I'm assuming at that point, Marlo, you've finished your distracting speech, rousing everyone.
It's not so much rousing as trying to cover for the fact that my apprentice and their sibling were just talking about a dragon in their head loudly in front of everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I to cover for them leaving, like spin the yarn of the thing, and definitely I definitely make Dylan out to be a complete bumbling idiot who is probably at fault for like everyone being hurt, and Cass is a fucking hero.
Okay.
And I actually, you know what? I'm gonna tell everyone that Cass killed one of them. Be like, it was the most amazing thing you've ever seen. Her sword flew like lightning from her hand, piercing the foul beast's neck, and before magically reappearing in her grasp once more. Really fucking laying it on super thick that it is all Dylan's fault that we were injured, and Cass saved the day.
Okay. So distracting speech or whatever it's called lets you distract them from something happening, not makes them believe something.
I can also spend a hope to gain advantage on a roll to deceive or trick people into believing a lie that I tell them. And I'm gonna as I finish this up, I'm like, they both had to go and make sure that they were not injured. And look, we understand a little bit about where they came from. Goose does sometimes think dragons are just in their head. That's all you heard.
Yeah.
There's
so
not literally, there's no dragons speaking to my apprentice or their sibling. There's no weird things happening here. They're just, they're still getting used to our language.
Yeah, so what's
That's
going to
all.
happen here, right, is I'm going to have you do a presence roll. And what's going to happen
Okay.
is you need at least a 12 for them to have forgotten that loudly was being
Okay.
spoken about the fact that
Okay.
dragons are speaking in someone's head. And
I am going to spend.
anything above an 18 will slowly start having parts of the crowd believe what you're saying. If you get a crit, the whole crowd believes everything you've said.
Okay, so I have spent a hope to gain advantage on this roll. I will also spend a hope to use my silver tongue experience to get another +2.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so what do we got? And my presence is +2. Okay, so I get a +4 total and a d6. Fuck me sideways. 13. Wait, no. Also, I'm human. When I fail a roll that utilized one of my experiences, I can mark a stress to re-roll. I will absolutely mark a stress to re-roll that.
Okay, re-roll the d12s. The d6 will say what it is.
Okay. Fucking. Okay, well, you get a fear, but I guess that makes it a. Yes, a 16. Yeah, no, I can't use Heart of a Poet because I have no hope left.
Yeah, so you do realize they don't remember Cass very loudly being like, "It said something in my head! The dragon is talking in my head!" But you see they don't really believe what you're saying. Especially once you hit the down talking on Dylan, you find a shift in the crowd because apparently Dylan is very loved.
I don't know why when he puts an entire group of us in danger, at risk. Okay, fine. Look, Cass didn't actually kill one of the dragons. Okay, fine. You know I like my dramatic flair, and at that I will also then flip whatever burned remnants of a coat I have and walk away towards Alonda's tent.
Okay.
And if Goose is still outside the tent when I arrive, it'll just stop.
Goose has gone in to pick up the honey cakes because they were eating the honey cakes when the sketching was occurring because they got really interested in all of these utensils. Alonda has cooler books than you. Sorry about it.
Then I will come in, immediately turn to close and lace the tent flap. I know her by now. Is the tent in any way magically or otherwise soundproofed?
I don't know that it is soundproofed, but it is layers of fabric, so it does deaden sound in some way.
Close everything, tie the ties, and then turn around. Friendly word of advice. Do not ever tell people born on the surface that a dragon speaks in your head unless you really fucking trust them.
You're welcome, by the way.
Thank you. I didn't even mind the sword slash. What I do mind is blatantly, willingly putting yourself in danger when we get back to people that should care about you and that I've been working really, really, really fucking hard to have them accept you and your sibling. So please, thank you for the rescue. Dear, I'm fine. I just, swords, ribs, it's okay.
You notice she's mid-vision.
She's busy.
Okay. Yeah. Please, don't talk about the visions with everyone in the cluster able to hear you, please.
Marlo, I'm going to be
Cass.
completely honest with you right now. She's going to take all of the stuff off again so you can see the weird things going on with her face and the bone protrusions, all of that, and the talons essentially on one side. I can't hide this forever.
You don't need to. And you won't if you listen to her and like nod over towards the visioned out figure. If you listen to her and let her teach you. And furthermore, no one's really cared what you look like. You are probably not like far from the only person Underborn that we've ever seen who did not want to share their physical self. Okay? But when you start talking about a dragon in your head loudly.
So I'm just supposed to pretend that it's not there.
I would just pick and choose who you're going to talk to about it and say that out loud.
Yeah,
I don't care. Goose is safe. Velcon is probably fine. Alonda, of course. But just walking into our cluster again and saying, the dragon in my head told me to run. Just, do you see why maybe that's not the best idea?
Well, I don't give a fuck about the rest of the cluster. What I care about is making sure that my sibling doesn't run over to the dragons thinking that it's a good idea.
Yeah, that was a problem. Goose, also, please, never do that again.
I didn't run to them. We were just talking. I got your books. That's as close as I ran to them.
I'm sorry, let me rewind. Thank you. I do sincerely appreciate that you seem to care as much for the written word as I do. And now that I've said that, you remember we talked about the stick and the carrot or the compliment sandwich? So here's the compliment sandwich. I gave you the compliment. Now, the inside of the sandwich is when I tell you that you really, really shouldn't have done that. And talking to those dragons was really, really dangerous and in fact quite stupid. And the final part of the compliment sandwich is when I compliment you again and say, however, you did run very fast and very silently. Dylan taught you well. Good job.
Yeah, you don't need to be so mean to me or Dylan, because we didn't really do things wrong in this situation. We weren't off by ourselves, which I've been told is a bad thing to do. I didn't get touched by the dragons or hurt by the dragons, unlike some people who got picked up by said dragons. I ran away and didn't get hit by any fire. I was trying to ask the dragons to not hurt you and try to be helpful in the situation. I was staying out there with you guys because you guys weren't running.
Cass, how? What? How?
Okay, well, Goose.
It's not fair for me to be the only one getting scolded in this situation.
I'm sorry, I'm scolding Cass too, very, very much. That
I'm
scolding
talking
too.
Yeah, and I'm scalding Marlo as well. So yeah, this is a group scalding activity. Goose, remember that term that Marlo told you about that I remember hearing? It's probably the only one that ever stuck with me, actually. Malicious compliance.
I don't actually have that one in my notes.
Oh, okay, I remember this one. It's the one where you do everything that you're told to do, but then you manage to get around it in some way. Well, so you're still doing technically what you're told, and most of the time, I think that's great, and I think you should do that, and I completely support you doing that. However, when it comes to the dragons, if they start coming for us, I need you to run away.
You gotta run away.
No, that's not how it
No,
works.
that's
I
how
can
it-
defend you.
Then why don't I get to defend things?
Because you're better at other things. You're better at, you know,
You
being
don't know that.
storyteller.
We haven't seen.
But you're better at being a storyteller and being a scout. Like, you were really good at being a scout and being quiet.
Could be good at other things too. Somebody just has to show me.
So next time, if I show you how to run away from the dragons instead of talking to them, will you do it?
Try it out.
Goose, part of being a good storyteller is living to tell the story. And I'm feeling very concerned that you will not survive to tell many stories of dragon encounters because you will try to talk to them and they will ignore you and kill you.
I can only get better at talking to them if I practice. It could be beneficial if we could talk to them.
I think at this point you hear the scratch of pencils coming from a sketchbook.
Ask it.
Arlo just like collapses onto a pile of cushions and puts their head in their hands at this point.
Cass is going to go and look at what's, very, kind of not going over too closely about how the visions work.
Mm-hmm.
Just to see what's going on,
What you see her sketching out is a riverbed of sorts. And it's the darker and lighter shading actually fills out half of that super light sketch of Krill that she did. So it's almost like half of their face is coming out of the landscape that she is drawing of this moving riverbed.
So that doesn't look good.
And I think she sketches for 5-10 minutes and then comes out of that.
I just give a wave from where I'm probably lightly bleeding all over whatever cushions I sat on.
And she goes, you see a flash of that panic concern. I think Marlo would recognize it in her, and she just immediately gets up and gets the supplies again.
I'm fine, Cass. Although, yes, the sword cut is from her, also did rescue.
I think she angrily pokes one of the wounds.
Ow!
Fine, right? Fine!
It wasn't my fault.
And just starts again, I think a little bit rougher than she did with anyone else who got healed. Disinfected that same poultice and patted into the wound that gets wrapped up.
I feel like those herbs didn't used to sting so much.
And you immediately heal 1 HP from that. And the whole time she's giving you shit about it.
You literally see in the corner, just in eyeline, Marlo, Cass just grinning this is fun.
I think when she's finally done, she sighs, stands up, and goes put the things away, and she's looking away from you all for a moment, and it almost seems like she's gathering herself, and then turns back around and is like, would you all like to join us for dinner?
If I join you for dinner, will you tell me what happened to Krill?
I think at that, and you realize that she totally forgot about the vision because saw Marlo was injured. She's like, yes, I will try and explain what I saw.
Oh, if you could maybe share that with me privately first before we have any more conversations about that would be fantastic.
Yeah, there's probably a few things we should discuss with you in private.
Okay. What's for dinner?
Goose, will you go share these with the other children in the cluster? And she has a big plate of honeyed cakes.
Goose will take the honey cakes. I think is just gonna go leave them with the other kids, and then is gonna go find Dylan.
So as you kind of do what you were told to do,
I'm sharing them with the other kids. I
You-
don't have to eat.
you just gotta explain
all of
malicious
the property.
compliance. Yeah, you just gotta explain malicious compliance.
Goose Goose was raised by Faye. What do you expect?
It makes so much sense.
So
all they know how to do.
once Goose Goose leaves Marlo, I think you see a look from Aluda that's like information passes between you.
I just do like the smallest. This is not the time shake of my head.
I don't think she pays attention to that because she's still pissed at you for getting her. And she goes, before we talk about Krill, there's probably something else you should know.
I just quietly go, so I'm sitting in front of the door or standing actually.
Okay.
Something you may be aware of. I believe I am your mother. Something you might not be aware of is Marlo would be your father.
No.
You have the marks of our family. You are the right age for our daughter.
No.
Yeah, unfortunately, you were raised in a cult, and
I think the fuck not.
I know it's a lot to take in, but
And we don't want any sort of parental role in your life. This is for informational purposes.
No, I don't want to. No.
I understand it's a lot to take in, but you were snapped.
No, I'm not taking this in. I'm sorry. I don't know whether I've been completely clear. This is the smiliest you've ever seen Cass ever. I don't think I'm being completely clear with the situation that we have here. That I'm not taking this in because this isn't happening.
It's happening whether you want to acknowledge the reality or not. I'm not saying that we have to enter into a parental role. I wanted you to know because it felt dishonest to not tell you something about yourself.
I'm gonna dig out the old unopened letter from the bottom of the pack. And while they're talking, I want to open it and and read it and be like, would this help in any way help Cass make sense of what happened? Like, is it a letter about this is what happened when the dragons attacked and these people stole our child?
So it's pre the child getting snatched in the chaos, but it is describing like she's letting you know, hey, remember this time when we were on the surface and we went to this festival? I'm pregnant, and also I'm really happy. My family's happy about it. Like, we've set up a nursery. If you want to come, we can sneak you into the Underborn if you want to visit after she's born. We'll figure it out, kind of vibe.
I think they can't help the interruption as they look at this. They just go, oh, I know I apologized once. I am so sorry that I never. And then hands Cass the note. Look, this, for what it's worth, I thought that we should wait, although the preponderance of evidence does suggest that we are your biological parents. Again, that does not replace the people that raised you and whether or not you consider them your family or parents.
The people who stole me, just to clarify, the people who stole me from where I was meant to be and lied to me and told me I was a fae when I clearly wasn't a fae, and I had to learn that over years. And then I started getting visions that were terrifying. And they told me it was a great thing and I should be so happy to experience every awful thing that they told me. Everything, every miserable piece of information, where I lived in a world that wasn't mine. And then when I finally had to leave because something told me I should, I then had to take custody of my sibling because I couldn't in good conscience leave them down there. And I feel like I made the biggest mistake of my life bringing them up here because I have to deal with all of you fuckers. And Cass is going to take out a little book of poetry. It's handwritten poetry by Ogden Nash. And goes, I presume it was from one of you.
So
on the floor and leaves the tent.
before you left, did you look at the letter you were handed at all?
Yeah, that was what caused the crash out.
Yeah, so part of what caused your crash out was you saw the letter was signed your star.
Mm-hmm. And in the inscription of the book is to my star where there is no night sky, just throws it on the floor and just leaves the tent. Just is going.
Marlo, you said you're sitting in front of the door. Are you gonna let her pass?
I am standing in front of the door, and I would like to make an instinct roll. Yeah. Unless I can argue for knowledge to read Cass in this moment.
So that would be instinct. Perception is
Okay.
instinct. Unless you're going for her emotional state, and that would be presence.
Yeah. Okay, great. No, I'll take presence. I that's a much better one. Okay. Jesus fucking Christ. All right, that's a 10 with fear.
Anger. So much anger.
Where did I will try to stop her long enough to just be like, where did you get the book?
Cass will stop briefly and go, I've had it the entire time. That's the one thing I had.
That was my favorite book until I gave it to her.
Great. Now you have it back. And she leaves.
And I think as you storm out, Marlo, you see Aaliyah go over to the book and just like carefully pick it up and like brush off anything that got on it from being tossed down. And is like trying to take deep breaths to calm down. And she just goes, well, that could have gone better.
Marlo, I think, visibly restrains themselves from a like, you think? And takes another breath to calm down and will cross over to stand kind of behind her and just put their hands on her shoulders. We can try again later. She needs to listen to you. Or what did you tell me? She'll go mad at some point?
Yeah, if something's already contacting her, it might force its will upon her if she's not ready.
My love, sometimes I think I have a slightly better grasp of people than you, and I really question whether right now is the appropriate time to tell her that part, rather than work on training her first.
And she wasn't even receptive to that, knowing what I am. And she sets the book down on the table nearby and goes and turns kind of like with your hands on her shoulder, turns towards you, kind of like rotating, and goes, and it's not going to make what I have to say any easier. Your apprentice Krill, you can find their body in the riverbed, in the ravine north of where your cluster settles at this time of the year.
think I will just make sure that one of the scouts know and send word to the Blind Eagle that they can, I don't know, bring the body home if they would like.
I don't know if you want to tell Goose Goose, but I will leave that to you since they are both your apprentices.
Well, I'm not getting any younger or less hungry, so let's eat and deal with the consequences after.
You kind of see like a little chuckle happen because she almost like this is just totally marvelous and goes back to like setting up the table. I think in a like hopeful way you see her set the table for 4, but only dish out food for the 2.
Mm-hmm.
As you guys enjoy dinner, we're gonna flash to Goose Goose, who fucked off to find Dylan.
Goose Goose is gonna make Dylan teach them how to shoot a bow. Even though, they mechanically, technically already know how. But, since everybody else is like, ooh, learn to run away. Goose Goose says, no, that's not fair.
Yeah, so I think it's pretty easy to find Dylan. Since he came back, he reported in to Erica, who's now awake from the forced nap you guys made her take at the end of episode 3. And
Hey, she needed it.
she did. And is with some of the like scouts and guards and hunters in the cluster, just like practicing at like a makeshift practice range that has been set up. And you see like several people like turn to look at you.
Hello. After the events of today, I would like to know how to shoot one of those better.
Okay. Do you have a bow, or do you need a bow?
And then Goose Goose will pull out their bow. The like arrows they shoot are literally like them tying a feather from somewhere off of their body onto a stick half the time, but they have a bow.
Mm-hmm. So I think like several people look at you weird, and then Dylan is finishing shooting and sees that you're the one that has approached and goes, I got it, and like goes over and like, okay, well first you should probably put a point on these arrows. And he takes you through the process of like properly making an arrow and fletching it and making sure it like actually does damage when you shoot it at someone.
That was definitely helpful. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And then he like tightens the string on your bow a little bit and like make sure that it's taut because it was a little loose, and he, take over the like probably the next hour takes you through like how to properly shoot.
I think it's important you know that you're not useless. Marlo was just being a mean butt, and they do that sometimes when they're stressed. They're stressed a lot. But I think it was really cool that you gave us a hiding spot.
People who talk like Marlo talk a lot in stressful situations. That's why I like to work alone.
I think I might start liking to work alone too.
It's pretty peaceful. And then, you guys practice firing, and he teaches you how to like sight down the arrow and, take a breath, and then before you inhale again, fire, and all the stuff that you need to actually shoot a bow properly. And you can practice for as long as you want.
This is probably where Goose Goose is going to be until either it gets late and everybody else decides to go to bed, or somebody comes and gets them.
Yeah. And I don't, unless Cass or Marlo are going to come looking for you, no one else is going to disturb you and make you go away until you're done shooting. because you can just keep retrieving the arrows.
Yeah, no, everybody can see the determination. This is the little goose that could, the little goose that will.
Yeah. Marlo, as you are going through dinner, is there anything that you're wanting to do?
I mean, no, I'm gonna save my rousing speech for when everyone's there, because then we all clear stresses. And I think they are making some amount of small talk, in the sense of like, in the slightly awkward way of two people that are possibly avoiding a conversation or waiting. We'll just kind of begin doing the catch-up conversation with Alonda of like what the cluster's been up to until the dragon attack, and what Marlo's been doing since the last time I saw her. And I think makes one bad joke about giving Cass a sibling based on last night, and then thinks better of it and probably gets slapped for their trouble.
I think rather than slap you, she probably flings a bit of food at you and is but chuckles as she does it.
I would like to roll to catch it in my mouth.
Yeah, that would be agility. I think at this point she healed you, so it's just agility.
5. It's in my eye.
Yep. Smack right in the face.
Ow. Look, fine. Just kidding. I don't.
As long as you read the letter this time.
Oh, I guess we'll then try, like, if we finish eating and Cass hasn't cooled off / Goose is still shooting arrows, I'll keep working on the puzzle box or read the letter that she just delivered.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, the letter that just got delivered with the puzzle box is just kind of doing the same thing from First Know that you just did with the Kelstrom's, like, letting you know, like, what's happened since her last letter, and if anything interesting that she's seen in any of her visions. She does mention a few things of note from her visions in the letter she sent you. There's, like, a sense of, like a distant light and darkness and flame and heat and things like that, but she's not sure what it means, because it was during just one of her general, like, meditative trances where she just opens herself to things that might want to be known rather than one of her directed ones.
Okay, yeah.
Cass, you stormed out of the tent. What are you doing as you storm out of the tent?
I think just genuine crash out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, feeling sick, feeling like the verge of a panic attack starting to happen, doesn't want to talk to Goose, doesn't want to talk to anyone. I think in situations like this would probably go to Velcon, but Velcon's scouting, so can't do that. So I think is going to try and find Dee Dee, who is a weird source of comfort to her.
I think she's pretty easy to find once you look around the, like, makeshift camp. She's working on her weird motorized moped thing.
Hi.
And she, like, gestures at one of the tools on the ground.
Yeah, sure. Picks it up, hands it over. Can I help?
And takes your hand and, like, makes you hold up something for her.
Again, this time Cass is once again gonna kind of, like, uncover the bits of this little more things that so she can hold more things by using her little appendages, like.
And she does treat you like when you were blind, just, like, moves you the way she needs you to, just kind of, like, assuming you want to help but don't know how.
I think I'm trying to learn. Like, I'm trying to learn how to make things, because I think the idea of having that kind of like moped, Cass just goes, "How did you get this?"
I don't know. And she like bangs her wrench a little bit, like not enough to do anything to it, just like to make a noise against it.
Do you think you could teach me how to make one?
She like looks at the moped, then looks at you, then looks at the moped, then looks at you.
Just easier for, and then Cass is like, "So I've got," kind of pulls out her sword. "I've got this, and it's good to have the mobility that thing might give me."
And when you say the mobility of that thing, instead of like, I think you see like a little bit of a I don't want to say evil smirk, but like mischievous smirk maybe, and like a twinkle in her eye, and she goes and like grabs that weird device grappling hook pulley thing she had made you that you used to get Malkon off of the dragon, and she just like
I can have that. And I'm gonna take it.
Well, I mean, it's currently attached to the moped, but what she will spend the next couple of hours with you doing is like removing it from the moped and like makeshifting some like backpack straps for it, and like taking the grappling hook off of it and like attaching it via like a chain instead of a rope to the bottom of your sword. And then she's like,
that's gonna be helpful. It's the magic bit of it doesn't quite work all the time, whereas this might be. Thank you.
And I think as you say thank you, she also goes.
I can cut with a little.
And then goes back to working on the moped.
Yeah. So Cass just kind of sits down, cross-legged, holding things, and is like directed where needs to, and gives Dee like a play-by-play of the day, up to and including. Also, Marlowe's my parent. Yeah. With the elf. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know which one of them I want to hit more right now for everything, but. Can I ask you a question, Dee? If there's something willing to ask you to learn, do you think it's fair to ask them to teach?
And they like put the wrench in your hand and use your hand to actually do something on the moped instead of you just watching them.
And it's unfortunately at that point, I'm going to say in my head again to our anonymous benefactor, "You want me to learn, you've got to teach me better than you are."
I don't think you hear anything from them.
I think it's said in petty as well, where it's like, yeah.
And I will say at this point, you've experienced probably years of visions. Normally it has been that like making you have a vision at night whenever you fall asleep, whether you intended to or not. But the last like 3 major ones, right, had some sort of trigger that did them. Right before the dragon attack, right before the dragonlings appeared, entering into the tent and seeing Aluda. So I would say you would be aware that they were probably given instructions based off of a trigger.
Yeah. But that, I think, it's entirely based on the pettiness. Cass's mindset at this point is that the instructions that Cass are given are good for her, but they aren't taking into account the other people around her that like it or not she cares about. So if she wants to learn, she's going to have to be taught how to manage that side of it.
So I think with that, you working on the moped with Dee Dee and essentially talking to her and assuming what her responses are, and Goose Goose just shooting arrows over and over again, and Marlo and Aluda having a nice dinner followed by a nice night, whatever that might mean. We're going to go on break there and let our players stew a little bit before we find out what else happens in the episode. Go get some water, stand up, walk around a little bit, get some snacks. I prefer Kit Kats. Those are great. And we will see you in a little bit. Bye! Right. Thank you for coming back from the break. I hope you enjoyed that. And, you know, got some snackies, hydrated, feel better. And see, the first half wasn't all that bad. There wasn't really all that trauma or anything happening in the first half.
Of course not.
As we come to the morning, a couple things are gonna happen. Goose Goose, when you wake up, you find a small, like, hip version of an arrow holder, the ones that, like, competition shooters use. And it has 6 handmade arrows in it that have blue fletching on it. And seem to have some sort of spiral carving going down the shaft of the arrow. And you see a little, like, quickly scrawled, very bad penmanship note on top of it that says, "Pointy end goes in the dragon."
Well, not in the dragon, but it goes in the bag. I understand.
And then Cass, when you wake up, you had stayed up pretty late working with Dee Dee on, what she had called the Gum Greta Gumble, because, you know, no one understands what Dee Dee says ever.
I think that Cass is starting to learn. I think Cass is getting the general vibes of what Dee Dee was doing at any given point.
For our audience, Dee Dee is pretty much like King of the Hill, that one character who, like, no one understands anything, or at least we understand nothing coming from his mouth. But if you put the subtitles on, it does actually tell you.
I have a deep love for Dee Dee because she reminds me of, like, British documentaries in the 80s from, like, small northern towns where it's. You get the vibe of what she's saying, but if you aren't from that, you have no idea.
Yeah, no way of telling where she's from, how old. Are they really words, or are they just fucking with you? But you stayed up really, really late, and you actually, like, crashed out hard. Like, you're not sure what time you made it back to the area that you and Goose Goose are, like, sleeping in the cave together. But you crashed out, like, you were asleep mid-fall onto your pallet kind of deal. You do have some flashes of things, but you don't have a full vision or a full anything happen at night. You do get this kind of feeling that something important is going to happen soon. Like, and it's almost like an anticipatory, like, excited, like, feeling you get, but you're, like, it's just, like, flashes, nothing you can really hold on to. But when you wake up and you turn over, your head, where you expect more of your pillow to be, or what you use as a pillow, you kind of ka-thunk against something, and there's, like, a small backpack-sized metal device you and Dee Dee were working on that Dee Dee kept working on once they, like, shooed you off to bed because you, like, dropped the 16th screw or something. And it is like small backpack size. It comes with, like, they found scraps and made, like, a cross harness so that it's, like, belted across the front of you, and it would sit kind of near your lower back, about this big. And it is, like, a very augmented version of that harpoon and winch thing from the weird motorcycle moped situation that Dee Dee has. And it is got a chain, and you see, like, it comes with a different, like, little, oh god. I feel bad because I was in for fencing for so long and I'm forgetting all of the names of the parts of a sword. The pommel of
That's the part in the end.
yes, it's
That's the
like,
holdy end.
yes.
Yeah.
There's some sort of, like, chain, like, part coming out of part of the device that looks like it ends in what would be the pommel of a sword. And it does look like it would roughly be the size of the one currently on your sword, almost like you could switch out the pommel that's on your sword now for the one that would attach to this device.
I think immediately that's what Cass is gonna do. Cass is just
Like Christmas, you're like, yee!
yeah, just like child on Christmas, like, just immediately starts taking it apart quite carefully. It's probably the most careful that Cass has ever been with anything she's done. She is impulsive, she's reckless, but with this one, I think because of the amount of time she's, like, taken being around Dee Dee, that she's more careful, so she does, take it apart, and then she's going to try and use it for the first time, just to test it.
Before you try to test it, give me an instinct.
That's not bad. That could have been worse. That's a 4.
Yeah, so what happens is you're fiddling with this backpack launcher harpoon made into a sword launcher thing that Dee Dee and you worked on last night. And you feel it click into something. And you feel that trigger some sort of spring, and instead of knowing and seeing where the thing is being shot to, it just shoots out of whatever you clicked it into immediately. And you got a 4. So a 4 was inconvenient. So what I'm gonna say happens is it goes behind you, so you don't see immediately what happens, but you hear the sound of, like, rending metal and, like, that sound of, like, escaping heat. The, like, sound. And when you do turn around, you see you have skewered the truck that Erica uses. And it is now leaking water or something, so probably hit a radiator.
What I'm gonna do is very, very quietly go and disconnect my sword from it and just style it out as if nothing has happened. That definitely wasn't me.
So to be clear, are you removing the connecting pommel, or are you just taking the whole sword and walking away?
The whole sword out.
Now, do you care if people see you do this? Because it's the first thing in the morning, or are you just like, if I act cool?
I think that there's a certain level of that Cass has a reputation for being weird and scary.
Mhm.
So if anyone who does look at Cass during this particular situation, look, Cass is going to give them, like, take the goggles off and that she's usually wearing and give them the greatest death stare she has ever experienced. So even if someone sees it, no, they fucking didn't. Is the vibe she's going for.
Yeah, so I think you have a couple things working for you, right? You took off your goggles, revealing your little, like, eyebrow ridge things. There's not a ton of people out yet, because it's first thing in the morning, because you went, I got this new thing, and I want to go play with it immediately, first thing in the morning.
Christmas.
Yeah, so there's not a whole lot of people up and awake yet. And I think also one thing that is working for you from another episode, which you can be thankful for now, is that Marlo and Velkan have convinced Erica that she needs to be taking rests and breaks and stuff. So she's not up and working because it's her trunk. So I think the couple people that see you, like, do that thing where, like, when you see somebody, like, beef it hard, and then everyone's so embarrassed, they just all pretend collectively, no, we didn't see that.
I have to look directly to camera to show you the energy of what Cass does when someone sees it. Just full, like, slow, terrifying death stare, shake of head, just like, don't.
Yeah, so I think that's how your morning goes. Now, do you like, try and launch this thing again? Do you want to go talk to Dee Dee, or do you want to take it off your back and examine it?
I want to take it off my back and examine it to see whether what exactly went wrong.
Okay. So, because you're actually taking it off your back to examine it, I will have you roll knowledge again, but I will give you advantage because you already accidentally triggered the thing. And now you're looking at it.
Okay, right. Doing it. Oh, did that work? It did.
Okay, so that's a lot better. That is 16
Wow.
plus 2, so 18 total.
Yeah.
Plus whatever your knowledge is, but I don't know if you have any.
0.
So yeah, so you
0.
don't have any knowledge. So 18. It takes you a little bit. You realize that part of all the strapping in that Dee Dee gave you is you didn't actually fully have it on right.
Ha!
Is part of the problem.
That strap goes around your waist. The other one.
Oh,
Yeah, so, like, where you had put it-
that was there.
Having it in your lower back was the right storage position, not the right use it position. So there was like 2 straps that go crisscross applesauce across your chest to strap you in, and then there was a thicker band that you were like, I have no idea what this is for, and you didn't do it up. It goes around your waist, and the device kind of is attached to that more than the back straps, and almost moves like a track around it. Like Dee Dee has set up something where it's almost on like a track on this thicker belt part. And so it can go from the middle of your back where it's comfortable to store and move around with to your hip. Which when you do that, you realize the thing that you accidentally clipped into and immediately had the sword spring away from you is the thing you slide the pommel and the hilt all the way up to the hilt your sword, and it clicks in and then springs forward and shoots out.
It's full gunslinger shit.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it's for. Okay, that makes sense.
And so since you accidentally found that blind while it was on your lower back, it got shot somewhere you didn't see. So you're like,
We're just gonna never tell Erica what happened. We're just not gonna
you're
tell
like,
her.
shit, yeah, Dee Dee doesn't include anything that isn't important. The big strap is important.
Oh. That does make sense. Like, literally, Cass, like, that makes more sense than the back, because obviously, at this point, Cass is talking to herself, and that makes sense, because at the back, then I can't see where I'm where's it. Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
And when you do click it in before you fully push it in, you do see it does let you aim just a little bit. You do get the feeling that you will probably have to also, like, use your body, because it's attached to you if you're gonna do some aiming. But it does slide around fully, so for both sides it can slide to the left onto your left hip, and it has something that matches what you found when you slid it to the right that hooks in and shoots it out, and you can slide it all the way around to your other side too. So it's like almost a full U to give you access to it. And you also see when you slide around to your side, there is some sort of like control or like switch on top. And I think at some point with fiddling around with things, you hit that just by accident or to see what it does at some point, and the sword gets yanked from your hand and pulled all the way to it. And almost seems to like click like the thing is magnetic onto it. And that chain is like fully wrapped up into the thing now.
Excellent. Good. Cool. Cool. Great. Turns out asking Kiki might have been a good idea.
Yeah, and when you press it back the other way, you hear something like click off, and your sword drops to the ground, like that magnetic thing that was holding it there is now no longer there, holding it up.
Oh.
And the chain goes slack and lets it drop all the way back to the ground.
This is the coolest thing that Cass has ever seen, realistically. Like, this is the coolest thing that Cass has ever seen.
Yep. I mean, this is also what happens when you let someone who literally has 2 engineering degrees have an NPC that's a mad MacGyver.
I feel like also, can we just appreciate for a moment the fact that Cass has fully done exactly what any child would do in this situation of finding out some deeply unsettling personal information? She just went to Nana, who gave her a present. Like, that's literally what's happened in this scenario.
Yes. So Goose, when you woke up, you found that little hip holster version of the arrow holder with those blue fletched arrows that have that spiral carving down it, and that note from Dylan that said, pointy end goes in the dragon. What are you doing with your new arrows?
Well, we don't want to use them because there's nothing here to shoot. Even though they eye a couple of people who may or may not have stolen their bread.
So since I gave Cass a free one to test at home base their new toy, which I have called Here Then There in the stat block I gave Cass. I will let you for free test one of the arrows and not lose them because they are limited ammo. And you can shoot a target if you want, because they have targets set up here, and retrieve it afterwards.
And hell yeah, Goose is gonna go shoot an arrow. And then probably proceed to shoot a bunch of arrows that aren't just these arrows, you know, are trading arrows. That way when Dylan gets up, Dylan can be proud.
Yeah, and I mean, you did a ton of shooting the night before too. So like you're a little sore, but you're also starting to get that kind of like pure muscle memory of just doing the task like 1,000 times over.
Khan is gonna be so impressed.
It's a little bit different, but not too much, because when you were doing all of the shooting last night, you were like what they had done was shoved some arrows like point first down into the ground in front of you, so you were just picking up an arrow and going and picking up an arrow and going. This time, are you putting on the like little holster?
Oh, hell yeah, give me that quiver.
It like slides onto a belt, so if you don't have one, you can easily find one in the camp. And it just like hangs there beside your leg, and has like a small strap on towards the bottom of it to like just secure it to the outside part of your leg so that it moves with you a little bit better. So slightly different movement to get the arrow out with this one, but it's enough in the same family where like you stumble a few times, like you don't quite lift up enough to get the arrow clear of the holster, and it gets caught up and tangled, and then you're like, and then you start figuring it out a little bit.
No, Goose has to stare at it for a solid like minute after the like second or third try, and it's just like, okay. And then we okay.
And you realize like the easiest way is to grab the like frontmost arrow, tilt it so that the fletching is like forward, and just pull it up and out, almost like you're kind of doing like a curve rather than straight out, and then just flinging it around to get it into your bow. So go ahead and shoot at the target for me. And when you do, because again, I'm giving this to you for free because I gave Cass to it for free since you're testing them out. Normally, you could spend a hope to add additional D4 to either the roll to hit or to the damage of the attack with these arrows. So if you want to do a little bit more oomph than your normal bow, you use one of these arrows, and you can decide if you want it to have a little bit more oomph to trying to hit if you've been having a really hard time hitting, or if you like, I really freaking hate whatever this thing is that I'm fighting, and I want to hit it just a little bit harder.
Give it a little oomph, give it a little oomph. Okay, hell yeah. We will give these guys a little roll.
Yeah, so I mean, you do really well even without an additional D4. What happens when you fire it, you notice immediately a difference. It seems like the wind catches in those spirals that have been carefully carved down each of the shafts, and the arrow starts almost like spinning, and you hear like a faint whistling sound, and it starts spinning faster and faster as it makes its way towards the target. And when it hits the target, you actually see it hits hard. Where, you know, last night all of the arrows that you shot went in the normal amount, right? Like an inch into the thing before it was stopped by whatever buffer or setup they have for the targets. This punches a full 3 inches into the target before it stops, and you can see just like the barest bit of the point coming out the back of it.
Goose runs over to the target and kind of looks at the back and pokes at it a little bit, and is like, "Oh, now that's scary. We gotta be careful with those. Would hate if somebody tripped and fell on them." And then we'll try to, proceed full like leg up on the target, pulling arrows.
You can get both feet on the target and are like full hauling back before this thing eventually pops out of the target.
Sends Goose just absolutely skyrocketing a solid like 2 to 5 feet back and on the back, and just like, I got it. We're good.
And I think it's at that moment that somewhere else in the camp you hear a metal rending sound and a like hissing steam sound.
That wasn't me. I am over here. Goose says to absolutely no one because they're just over here. And then we'll slowly realize again there's no one. So they start to like wobble on over and look around, and Uh-oh. It wasn't me this time, but it might have been Cass.
Yeah, Goose, you start coming up from the like makeshift target area right as Cass is pulling the sword out and stares at another bystander and is like,
I think that Cass senses Goose's presence and it's just like, I don't want to hear it. I
this
don't.
long neck peering over a crate.
I don't want to hear it.
I didn't say anything yet.
I know, but I know something's coming and I just don't want to hear it.
Okay, fine then. I won't show you my cool present if you want to be like that. And then just turns around, very dramatic, like hair toss in the process, and like waddles all of 2 feet before looking back at you.
What present is it?
And then we'll proceed to run and do like a full little like goose hop over the crate, flaps the little wings a bit, and then shows off the full quiver and is like, look at my very nice arrows. And we'll show one. And it's like, look, they go.
What do they do that's different to... they look great. What do they do that's different to normal arrows?
Well, not much. They go through the air, and then this one, they poked through further, and it goes thwunk, rather than dung.
Thwunk sounds good. Thwunk sounds like something you can use. So, good. That's very good. I have a gun.
This can only end well.
Wait, guns were an option?
If you speak to Dee Dee long enough, then she can give you a sword gun.
How long do I have to speak to Dee Dee to get a gun?
I am unclear on the actual timeline, but I was having a bad day and Dee Dee gave me a sword gun.
Well, I got lost and Dee Dee didn't give me a sword gun. That was a pretty bad day.
I found out who my parents are.
What?
Wasn't Goose there?
Goose wasn't. I don't think.
Goose was
No.
not in that
you all
conversation.
had
No.
asked Goose to
Really?
leave, which is why they maliciously complied by learning how to shoot from
Okay.
Dylan.
They went to go be productive elsewhere. So yeah, it's what? What do you? I mean, you've known who your parents were. We grew up together. We have the same mommy and daddy.
Cass has immediately realised that she might have done what people would refer to as a fucking Wookiee. And there is a very long compounded silence of Goose. Remember
Cass.
the conversations that we've had over the fact that we look very different.
So
the people who raised us raised me, but Mum didn't give birth to me. You know that I can't fly.
well, we all go. I mean, flying's hard.
No,
You'll
but
get your
I
wings
can't.
one day.
No, I'm not gonna get wings.
No, you will. Like, don't worry. It'll come out of your back. And they hurt a little bit when they start sprouting, but, like, it's fine.
No, I'm just not gonna get wings. Because I'm not like you.
Well, yeah, you aren't a goose.
No.
You're a Cass. We're different kinds.
I'm apparently not a Cass either.
Then what are you?
And is Luna's still in the cave?
Yeah, I think Aluna did that parent thing where they're like, if I don't acknowledge I heard the crashing sound, then nothing truly has gotten broken yet. Has just continued to see to the care of those that are sick or injured inside the cave.
Yeah, Cass is just gonna jerk her head and go, I'm that.
That's I don't know what that. What?
I think elf. I think I'm an elf, but I'm also not an elf because of, and that's about the point where Cass stops talking. Just
But you're still.
something else.
But you're still Cass.
I'm.
You're
I
not
don't-
a Cass. You're a Cass elf.
I'm still Cass. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm just also coming to terms with the fact that I
So-
knew that I wasn't like you, but now I know I'm not like you.
Well, that's just kind of, I think, more sad for you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's sad and it sucks and
So, if you said you learned who your parents were, and as I have learned from Marlowe, that is a plural word.
yes.
Got you there.
And you have only pointed out one parent.
Yes.
So, is there a 2 or a 3 or a 5?
There is a 2.
Do you know the 2? Or is the 2?
I know
7 rows of teeth.
I know who the 2 is. The most deadpan she'd ever been. I am aware of 2.
So there could be more.
No, it's definitely just those 2.
Okay. Yeah, I have to ask because there was that one family that had like 7 parents and 2 kids.
I honestly
I don't know how it worked.
Based on everything I know, there might have been more than 2 at some point, but I was birthed by these 2 specifically.
So does that mean that you're gonna call them your parents now?
Fuck no. Fuck no.
Okay, well, are they worse than your parents? Our parents then? I guess there is now your parents, our parents, and then at some point they become my parents.
Oh god. If I tell you something, what do you promise you're not gonna freak out?
No.
You have to promise, otherwise I'm not gonna tell
You
you.
know, well, that's, you can't tell me that you're gonna tell me something and then make me promise I can't freak out about it if it's gonna be something freak outable.
No, it's something freak outable, and I want to tell you because you're my sibling and I love you, but if you're going to freak out, then I'm not gonna tell you.
I won't freak out if I can have more of those biscuit cookie thingies.
That would imply that I have to speak to my mother again.
Are you not on speaking terms? I'm confused.
Pinky promised me that you're not gonna freak out.
I don't have pinkies. Flaps the feathers around.
The problem group. How did we not know this? You don't have pinkies. You see how this was.
I thought you were just deformed.
I mean, technically, yes. And she shows like the sides of her heart. Technically, yes, I am, but that's not what the pinkies are the problem with. It's everything else going on.
Okay, I'm gonna. and holds up, the closest approximation to a pinky.
Okay, great. Cass does that. So one of my parents is a Luna. The other one, who spends a lot of time in a Luna's tent right now?
All of the people that came with a Luna?
No, specifically there is one specific person who spends a lot of time in that tent.
I think right at that is when Marlo wakes up, realizes Luna's not in the tent, and then he comes outside. Just for, like, dramatic purposes.
And Cass is gonna look around as if, that kind of, like, shit that you've sensed the presence of someone, speak someone's name and they will appear.
Yeah.
Like that kind of vibe. And just kind of looks at Goose, and then looks over to the tent, and then looks back and goes, like, slow nod.
Oh, hey, look, there's Marlo.
She's really gonna make you just spell it the fuck out.
I think Cass's soul has basically left her body at this point. Like, it's gone. It's not coming back. She doesn't know which of the divine guidances she's praying to right now to get out of this conversation, but it's one of them. And she goes, okay, look at Aluna's tent.
I'm looking. There's Marlo.
Yes. It takes 2 people to make a baby.
At least.
At least.
Minimum.
Minimum. Are you getting it?
I don't think I want to get it anymore.
No, I don't either, but I'm having to live here, so you are too now. That's what siblings do.
Well, we have different parents, so...
Oh, and now now it's okay to turn that around on me. Okay, great.
I mean, that was before. And then Goose just kind of reaches up and pats you on the shoulder.
Just because this amuses me, Cass, in your head, you hear a kind of, like, deep, gravelly, like, laugh.
This is the point where Cass, with no fucks to give, says out loud, "You're not funny. You're not funny."
I thought...
Not you. Not you.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I'm very funny. I don't know what you're talking about.
You're very funny. Yes. No. The potential, the probable dragon in my head thinks that this is very amusing.
It's not fair that you get a dragon in your head.
Why do you think this is unfair?
Because I want a dragon in my head.
I'm still praying to everything that I know that it isn't a dragon. Unfortunately, again, shows the appendages. At this point, I think we're running out of options on what it is.
You could be like a fish person.
What fish do you know that has these and shows the bones? What fish do you know has those?
I saw one book one time that had them in the really deep dark. They looked scary. Kind of like dragons.
I should really be monitoring what you're reading more, honestly. Look, the things in the deep sea can't come for us because of the compression down there. So as soon as they get to the surface, they don't look like that anymore. It's science. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
I think with that, okay. Aluna has walked out of the cave at this point and seen you there and goes, good morning, Goose. Cass.
Good morning, Cass's mom.
And
Cass said Cass needs to talk to you about part of our arrangement.
I think There's a look that comes across Aluda's face for a split second. If you want to try to read what that says, I will let either of you make me an instinct roll.
Hell yeah. Let's fucking do
Annoyingly, I think that Cass is. I don't think Cass can help herself. She's still gonna check. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, this is something I'm supposed to be good at.
And apparently she's not allowed. Sorry.
So I think, Cass, you saw a flash of something, but you didn't quite catch what it was because you were a little bit shocked that as you were talking about her, she appeared just like when you were talking about Marlo. Marlo appeared. And I think, Goose, you catch like half of the look, but you don't catch the full meaning of the look. The part that you see is almost a shock, but not like the bad shock, like bad news or something, but like that kind of like joyful shock of like you finally got to do something that you didn't think you'd get to be able to do, and you did it well. But the rest of the look you miss. She tilts her head and looks at you, Cass, and goes, "Is there something you require?"
I had to tell my sibling that the confirmation of me not being what Goose is real, and now you're beholden to giving them those honey cake things forever. Cool, good talk. Cass is gonna leave.
Well, it doesn't have to be forever if you don't want it to be forever, but if you're down for forever on the honey cake things.
How about I teach you to make them? Come, I have some you can eat while we make.
Boy.
And Aluda will start taking you back over to the tent that she's walking towards.
Goose does not look at Marlo. Goose has learned an unfortunate thing about Marlo today. That is Marlo fucks.
We didn't learn that when Pidgey was saying it over and over again.
This has processed it.
Unfortunately, there is now evidence that Marlo fucks. Like, there is physical evidence on the planet.
Marlo, you're awake. Would you like to join us for some honey cakes?
Ordinarily, anything for breakfast with you. However, I think I hold up the book of Ogden Nash poetry. I think I'm going to find Cass, or try.
And I think she leans close and goes, "It's not going to be hard to find her. She's near the rendered truck."
I did tell you this was the wrong time to tell her.
I didn't think Dee Dee was going to give her a sword gun.
Regardless, love, she wasn't ready. But I'm going to see if I can convince her that she needs your help anyway, because she does.
I need help.
Yes, you, learning how to cook. Also, very, very good skills to have.
Yeah, she's not hard to find right now.
Yeah. Side note, Marlo has spent the long rest clearing stress by rereading this book that they gave away 20 years ago, and repairing the many dragon claw marks in their armor, i.e. layers and layers of clothes. But in this moment, just kind of like considers the goodbye kiss, looks at Goose, and then just like, "I'll see you both later," and like takes the book and goes after Cass.
I think she just kind of like chuckles, and she will take Goose in, start with feeding you honey cakes and tea, and then we'll start showing you how to make them as you go off to find Cass, Marlo. Again, not hard to find Cass.
Yeah. walks past the truck, looks at the steam emitting out of it, like, well, so glad that's not my problem. I don't know how to fix this, and we'll keep going. And when they find Cass, just kind of sitting, standing, wherever, we'll just kind of walk up quietly and just kind of flip through the book a little bit. Did you have a favorite?
Yep.
Which one?
That's for me, not for you.
Fair enough. I always liked Mr. Palliser's palette. It's morbid, you know. Guy just wants to be a French cordon bleu chef, and so eventually has to kill his wife because she doesn't appreciate his cooking, but funny, still.
Why the fuck did you give that to her?
This was one of my favorite books. And when she left the cluster, I wanted her to have something of mine that would hopefully let her know how much she meant to me. And they will just also like offer it back, very pointedly, just holding it out to Cass. I've enjoyed rereading it, but if this was something that held great meaning for you, you should keep it.
It did have meaning. And I don't know, maybe once upon a time I thought that might be the only connection I had to where I was actually from. And now I wish that was the only connection that I had to where I was from.
You hang on to it anyway. Make new memories from it. Did you ever read any of them to Goose?
Goose doesn't know I have it. Goose didn't know that we're not related.
You are. You are in every sense that actually matters. Cass, stories going back thousands of years are full of people that were raised in one family, tradition, religion, kingdom, what have you, and find out that the actual birth family is something else. Do you know what the most common trait of all these people is?
What?
It doesn't change who they are. It doesn't change who their chosen family is and who raised them. And I'm aware that the people that raised you are psychotic assholes, but they raised you and your sibling. And Goose is your sibling.
Do you want to know how I found out?
I was in the tent when she told you.
How I found out that they weren't my parents.
I'm assuming it was something horrible, but if you'd like to tell me, I'm listening.
I had a vision, and I was scared, so I told them. And the first few times it had happened, I didn't tell them, and I just kept it to myself, and I told them this had happened. And I overheard them say, "I'm so glad that this child was blessed to us," because of the horrible things that were happening to me. That's how I found out. So yes, they are psychotic assholes. And then I asked whatever it is in my head to help me get out. And it did. And then Goose came with me. And Goose, honestly, would be having a better time of everything if I'd left them down there at this point. Because every day I have to sit there and realize that, hey, my sibling followed me out into the world, into this terrifying world where everything's trying to kill us. And I'm going to regret it for the rest of my life that they stayed with me.
I'm not trying to kill you. Alonda is not trying to kill you. I would add, neither of us, well, shouldn't speak for her. I'm not trying to be your parent. I know you don't want that, and I know that I can't replace, nor would I want to replace any familial attachments. What I want, if anything, is for you to be as safe as is possible in this world.
I'm not sure if anyone can give me that.
Do you know who could help?
I know. Fortunately, she did kind of drop a bombshell on me yesterday, and I'm really
I
not
really
wanting to stop that.
told her it was not the time. I don't believe either of us would willingly lie to you had you figured it out for yourself. But I tried to tell her this was not the time. Having said that, Cass, your window of time to learn from her and perhaps be able to control whatever is speaking to you, or I don't know, I don't pretend to understand exactly how it works, despite the many times she's tried to tell me, but your window to learn from her is not large. We will need to move the cluster soon, and she will not come with us, and then you will be on your own in that respect. I can't help. I don't know what it is. I would love to. I would like nothing more than to be someone that can help you. But she is the only one who can, at least in that respect. And the other things that I have to teach you don't seem to want to learn. I'm sorry for what it's worth.
Every time I learn something new, I hate it.
That sounds like a problem with your teachers.
Yes, you're my teacher.
Am I?
I think you've accepted.
Fair.
Do you see any other teachers around here? There's you and there's Dee Dee, and I like Dee Dee more than you.
No, that's obvious. What did you do to Erica's truck, by the way?
I put on the sword gun wrong.
The what? Oh, dear gods. Okay.
I'm
Okay,
gonna
Edie
spin it round to where it's meant to be. So it's meant to go here, and it was on my
Marlo
back.
just instinctively ducks and, like, drops flat on the ground. Don't wave that around! If you don't know how it works, and if Dee Dee built it.
I know how it works now, it's fine.
Okay. And they kind of slowly climb back to their feet and brush themselves off a little bit.
I'm gonna unclip the sword from the magnet. Look, it's fine.
For a given value of fine, yes. Look, I know I can't make you do this and maybe have no right to ask you, but I really think that accepting Alonda's help and you can keep that relationship or that interaction strictly business is only going to help you with what is happening. And if there is anything that you want to learn from me, then I will do my best to teach it. And if you don't, that's very fair, and that's all that I have the right to ask. Keep the book.
Fine.
Okay. I'm gonna go yell at Dee Dee. And they'll just kind of quietly... yeah.
As Marlowe is going, Cass just says, a lady who thinks she's 30. That was my favourite one.
It's a good one. And Marlowe will just quietly leave Cass to think and go spend a solid 5 minutes yelling at Dee Dee for giving Cass an insane contraption that could kill everyone in the camp.
I think you find Dee Dee by like a stream, kind of like arc welding, and you're yelling and yelling and yelling and yelling, and then at some point when you finally have yelled yourself out, Dee Dee throws up whatever visor they were using and just like...
How? Why did you give Cass something that... Dee Dee, I know you're smarter than this. So why the fuck would you do that? That's not an excuse. You had, what, 4 engineering degrees and like 6 PhDs and an honorary doctorate from Cambridge, whatever you had, and this is how you're choosing to use that knowledge? Giving an unstable child a sword gun? No. This is your fault, and I'm going to tell Erica it was your fault that her truck is destroyed.
And he just puts
Go
the
fix
visor
it.
back
No. I like pull the thing. Go fix Erica's truck, because Cass doesn't know how. Go fix the truck. It's your fault and responsibility.
Clicks the arc welder at you, and you see the like gut that flame go at you to like ward you away so she can put back her visor.
I knock it out of her hand. No, fix the truck first. Come back to whatever this is later. When Erica wakes up, that truck needs to be working. Go. Or find someone else who can fix it. I don't know who else is mechanically inclined besides you. Accept responsibility for the consequences of your action, Dee Dee, and go. Fix the fucking truck. Yeah. Go fix the truck. I slam the thing back down. I fucking take the welding equipment over to the truck.
I think Dee Dee just likes to walk away with it, and you realize once you get to the truck, you turn around, she was done welding.
I just drop the thing by the truck. And if she's within eyesight, I like point at the steam coming out of the thing.
And I think you have that back and forth for a while. She will wait until it's done releasing the steam, because I don't know if any of you have tried to work on a radiator before.
Well, the truck was off, right? So, like, it's not like the engine block was hot, or whatever.
Apparently it wasn't.
Yeah, we don't know how
Jesus.
recently it was turned off, because it was
God.
outside of the cave instead of inside of the cave.
Yep, okay.
And I don't know if anyone has worked on a radiator, but you gotta let that shit cool before you can touch it.
And at that point, Marlowe considers going back to Alonda's tent, but will, like, I guess, wait for Velcon and keep an eye out for scouting party.
Yeah, and I think eventually Dee Dee will come over and start poking at the damage once the steam is slowed down. If you're there, Marlowe, you actually see that they're kind of impressed. They're a little bit proud.
Can only end well.
From across the tent, from across the cave, like, Cass makes direct eye contact with DG, just like...
Like, that one gif of that kid that just, like, looks from the computer with the thumbs up. Goose. Learning how to make honey cakes is actually going really well. It's not that hard to make. There's not a ton of ingredients. And since they kind of know that you prefer everything to be explained to you as you're doing it, to be very clear and explicit, that is the way that Aluna goes about this, like, laying out everything even as she is doing it, and being like, and you put this much and this much, and just taking you through the whole process. At some point, you do have to let it rest, because it is kind of like a dough. But then at that point, you go back to the table and you have already done honey cakes and more tea while you wait for it to proof. And then she shows you how to make it over the fire. And now you have, by the end of it, so many honey cakes.
Excellent. I think Cass has held up her end of the deal marvelously.
For no particular reason, if you find honey stuck in your feathers, milk tends to be a better remover than water.
I don't know what you're talking about. I would never just, already shaking. I don't ever get honey on me, and I'm never sticky.
I didn't think you would, but other people are really, really messy.
Brass.
Like, almost that, like, parent trying to be like, oh yeah, you would, but just so you know, because other people.
Exactly. I would never have to have this for myself, but I'll make sure Cass knows.
Yeah.
In case she has sticky fingers.
So as that is happening, Cass, what are you up to? You had that conversation with Marlo before he went to go yell at DT.
Cass has just received validation from DG again, which is great. She immediately pockets her book again. Like, that is going back in her pack, because that is her book, and that is her comfort item. And despite all the conflicting feelings she has about the comfort item, it is still a comfort item. At which point, she will very reluctantly head over to the tent, and kind of poke her head in and go, Goose, do you have honey in your feathers?
No.
And I think Aluna waits till Goose is not looking at her and answering Cass to, like, hide, like, a small chuckle.
Do you want a honey cake?
No, I'm okay. You know when you get sticky, then the flies get to you? We've been through this.
But the flies are tasty.
I know, but that's not a reason to be sticky.
I'm not...
I'm gonna need you to stay at least 3 steps away from me and go and groom yourself right now.
Comes, like, 3 steps closer,
No.
holding out a plate of honey cakes.
No.
I think Aluna picks up your other arm, Goose, and, like, maybe one of the 2 spots that aren't sticky, and puts, like, a small jar of, like, goat milk into your hands.
This is for later. It's not because I'm sticky.
Yeah, that's exactly what... Yeah, it's not because you're sticky. Cool, great, good. Good. Did you learn to make honey cakes?
I did! I was trying to give you one. You should taste them.
Again, 1 step backwards. No. I will put them down. Put them on the floor.
But then they'll get dirty.
They're on a plate. No, they won't.
Puts them down.
Now step back. Back. 3 steps back.
1, 2, 3.
It's like a hostage like negotiation as Cass slowly picks up the plate and like takes a bite out of a honey cake, while not making eye contact the whole time. So they're very delicious.
Thank you.
Are you
I
gonna-
had to let the dough rest. It took forever.
It really didn't take that long.
It took forever.
Okay, yes, you just have a different concept of time to most people. Great, good, great, wonderful. Thank you for teaching Goose how to make honey cakes.
Apparently there was some deal for honey cakes forever.
Well, Cass added on the forever part.
It was how long it was going to stop Goose from freaking out over information that I'd previously given to them this morning.
Yeah, Goose told me about what you and Marlo did.
No, we don't need to talk about that. We don't
And
need
by
to
Goose,
talk
I
about
mean Cass.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about any of that.
Anyway, yeah, Cass told me about what you and Marlo did, but it's okay because I have honey cakes now, so I didn't freak out about it.
Cass, genuinely, her soul is evaporating during this conversation. Again,
I very much picture like those anime scenes where like the character like goes limp and the little like wavy soul comes out of the mouth.
yes.
I'm gonna go over to this corner now with this milk for no particular reason at all.
Yep, stay where I can see you. Thank you.
And yeah, Goose runs off to a corner to groom, but also will be watching. Because Cass has been silly, and Goose is the only one allowed to be silly. Silly Goose.
There's only one silly. There's room for one silly goose in this town. Right there. Cass is gonna look. Go. Hello. Marlo has told me it's probably my best interest to still learn from you, so.
Would you like to start now?
I mean, now is as good a time as any.
And I think she kind of like almost goes to like guide you somewhere and then stops and just kind of walks over there, assuming you're going to follow her. And there's like a small area you've noticed kind of behind some like sheer hangings from the ceiling that has a much cushier rug than the rest of the area, and like big, like almost meditation round pillows set up on the ground. And she kind of like folds herself down into one of those meditation pillows and gestures at the one across from her.
Well, she's really graceful. Cass is not, but you can see like there's kind of like instinctual grace to it, but it's just there's too many limbs involved in everything that Cass does. Like there's a lot of limb going on, so she just kind of like folds herself down in a really ungainly way.
Yeah. So guess what? You'll be learning something that, depending on how well you learn it, Cass, will actually start giving you a little bit control and a little bit of actual interpretations and mechanics with your vision. Because I might have built an entire mechanical system for this.
I'm scared. Watch as I roll, like, a 3. Watch when I roll a 3.
So I think Aluda kind of gives you a little smile, seeing you struggle down into this meditation sitting. And she goes, there are 3 aspects that let us control and ask for guidance within the visions. There's the breaths of guidance, the meditations of paths, and finally of the trance, which lets us be lucid in our guidance and understanding. So the first part of that we're going to try and start working on is the breaths of guidance. And once you can go through them once you feel comfortable with yourself, but I am always here to give you to go through them with you. And then she'll start going through them. I have written so much shit for this. I don't think you guys realize how detailed I went at one point. I was sitting on my couch and I wrote like an additional 5 pages of shit that's just for the visions. So she goes, so there are 4 breaths of guidance. There's the breath of earth for stability and grounding, the physical body, and fertility. It's a chest breathing exercise that we hold for 5 seconds. And she kind of demonstrates that. And then there's the breath of air. It represents intellect, mind, communication, and freedom. It's a belly box breathing of 3 seconds, and she'll demonstrate that. And then she goes, the breath of water represents intuition, emotions, purification, and fluidity. It is a 4-7-8 breathing, and she'll give that demonstration. And finally, the breath of fire represents transformation, purification, passion, and destruction. It is a clavicle breathing, almost like the bellows of a forge. And we cycle through these breaths to help ground us, to center us, and to provide us the strength to control our own visions. And so for the next however long, maybe the next couple hours, because I don't think you want to do breath training for too long. The next couple of hours, she like takes you through each of these breathing styles and then takes you through like a full cycle of all 4. And I think what happens right as you get to that end of time where, like, she's concluded for today, and she's like, I'm gonna have you do a roll to see how well you did during this breathing exercise, because I don't know how much breath control Cass has.
I also don't know, and at this point, I'm afraid to ask.
Wait, well, I could say I had given you my inspirational words, but it doesn't actually really help you.
No.
You could clear a stress, a hit point, or gain a hope, though.
I'm gonna gain a hope.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna do. Now we're gonna... Oh my god!
So you actually do really well. I think there's some correction that happens, but because you guys are focused on this for like an hour or 2, I think, Cass, in this, you actually find it the point of each of those breath styles that help you the most. So what I'm going to do is, from the breath of earth, what of those 4 do you find most helpful when you connect with it? Stability, grounding, the physical body, or fertility? I don't think it's fertility, so we're just the 3.
No, not having a little Cass of your own.
I think fertility is the last thing that she wants to consider based on the conversation that she's had over the last 2 days. I think it's the physical body.
Okay.
I think she's increasingly felt recently that it's like her body isn't hers with everything that's happening to it, and connecting with it in a sense that makes her feel like it's still her own body is something that ends up helping. Like, I think it's almost a stubbornness. she's like, no, this is still mine.
Yeah,
Whatever's happening to it.
and I think during one of the Breath of Earth cycles, you almost feel something shifting, like stone sliding across each other and like thunking into place. And I think that is when you feel the most like in your physical body, like like this is me, like
yeah,
this is mine. For the Breath of Air, which one do you feel most connected with? Intellect, mind, communication, or freedom?
Freedom.
Okay. So I think during one of the cycles of the Breath of Air, you almost feel like a weightlessness coming over you. And you wonder if this is what flying might feel like. Maybe that's a discussion you'll have to have with Goose and like, is this what flying feels like? For the Breath of Water, which of the four do you feel most connected with? Intuition, emotions, purification, or fluidity?
I think it's intuition in this one.
And you almost feel during the Breath of Water cycled breathing, you can't quite place it, but it almost seems like your senses get a little bit sharper as you're doing the Breath of Water. And for the Breath of Fire, transformation, purification, passion, or destruction?
I think you already know what the answer is.
I know, but I gotta make you say it!
It's destruction. I think fire is the one that she was almost scared of. Every other part of the breathing kind of made sense, but the fire, there's too much involved in that she understands because she's felt this before. Mm-hmm. Like that kind of, the heat, something that used to be scary and now feels more like home, which she's never really had. Like she knows that that's one thing that she does have and it's a constant for her. And unfortunately that comes with destruction.
Yeah, and I think during one of the cycles of breathing, you almost experience that moment of destruction that leads to new birth, like when you put metal in a crucible, right? And you have to destroy it. You have to melt it down to use it to make something else, right? Like that's how that works. But it's that moment of destruction before the new comes through that I think connects with you in the cycle of Breath of Fire. So mechanically, right? When you master all four breaths fully, you might have something that you can unlock that does that. But for the moment, as you are an apprentice in these, you already have one success because you rolled a fucking 19. Way to go. For breath training. On 3 successes, those 4 things you connected with will give you something.
Okay.
So, I think as you've done all of this connection, you come to the end of this conclusion. And I think the way we're going to end this episode is right as you come out of that last Breath of Fire cycle, you just hear really loudly from somewhere outside the tent, "What the fuck happened to my truck?" And that's where we're going to end the episode.
Edie fixed it. Jesus.
Thank you so much for joining us for this episode 5. Let's go ahead and hear from our wonderful players. Quinn, what are you up to? Where can people find you?
Hello, my name's Quinn. I use any and all pronouns. Sorry, I'm just reeling over the just like shit. Cool. Yeah, my name's Quinn. I use any and all pronouns. You can catch me on social media, all of your regular ones, Quinn Rolls Dice, because I have my own things for it now, and, there's the Instagram and shit. I don't know. But yeah, you can catch me anywhere around there. If you're ever in London, I GM in a place called Arcadia Games, which is pretty cool. So if you're ever in London, England, please come and hit me up. And I don't really have anything else going on at the moment, which is good because, summer is here and I'll be outside. But yeah, this has been really fun again. Sorry, I'm dealing with the 19 and everything. Cool. Bye.
Critter, what are you up to? Where can people find you?
Hello, I am Critter. I use they and he pronouns. You can find me here. You can find me on some cool stuff on Looking for Mom with some of these wonderful folks.
Oh yeah.
Right? And we can say it now. The table, what the fuck is it called? 4 GMs, 4 completely different systems, playing the same adventure that is based on Peregrine Principles. We're all Marlowe. Hilariously. Except I'm fairly sure it's not because any of those characters thought Shakespeare was a fucking hack. You can also find me alternate Thursdays on D8 Dungeon, twitch.tv/D8 Dungeon, on rotating DM's Curse of Strahd. I haven't DM'd yet, but probably will soon. And you can also find me where you find your podcasts on Unbalanced Encounters and The Roll Report. Check them out.
Awesome. And Irvi, what are you up to? Where can people find you?
Hi, hello, my name is Irvi Fitz. My pronouns are they and them, and I'm here for a good time and hopefully a long time. You can find me across the internet at Irvi Fitz because I finally understand branding and I am the only one out there. If I am not on the rollers joint, you can find me at Pantsless Tables or Nerds with Dice doing nerdy pantsless things.
That is such an
Or
ambiguous
on
statement.
Playing. You can find me on
Every
Start.
time you say pantsless tables, I have so many questions.
Yeah, I'm
and I
like, this has to be an 18 plus thing.
Except it is, but it's not the way you think it is.
It's all Zoom and recorded, and so no one wears pants when they play because you're only looking from the chest up?
Exactly.
Well, so how do you verify that they're not wearing pants?
We could all be pantsless right now.
We can. All tables are pantsless tables if you try hard enough.
I like the way you think.
That is true. So I am Kayla, just KTM Dalliance. You can find me through my Linktree with all the crazy stuff I do all the time and ever growing through that Linktree, just gay K. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining us today. We hope you have a fantastic time, and we hope you will join us not next week, but the week after for the next episode as we find out who's going to tell Erica what the fuck happened to her truck.
No one!
No one. That's going
can
to our
guess.
brains.